Hey everybody, and welcome to the Planet Destiny podcast, recorded live every week on Twitch. We are your hosts, Fallout, Mega, Bones, Story, and TBL. Actually, TBL's not here due to hurricane.
Yeah,
we hope he's okay.
Due to a light case of hurricane.
Due to a minor case of hurricane. All of our thoughts and well wishes to TBL. And please welcome tonight's guest. He's an incredibly entertaining and talented streamer who you can find at twitch.tv/DrLupo. But not only that, he's on the starting lineup of Rogue, one of the first ever professional Destiny 2 esport teams. God, that feels really good to say. Please welcome to the podcast, DrLupo.
What up? Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me back, correct?
He's got one of those lovely chiseled features. The chiseled features, I just want to lick him up and down like a lollipop.
Stop talking about it and get out here and do it. There's no hurricane in Omaha right now, man. We're ready.
Oh, God. Oh, my.
Thank you very much for joining us, Ben. You're a good man.
I'm super sorry about making you wait. I had to quickly fail a number of times at the Prestige Nightfall on my main character because I suck huge piles of butt. But we did it really easily on my alt, actually, which is pretty funny. So I got to knock that out either tonight or early tomorrow morning. I'm get up and start stream right out of the gate, probably like freaking 6 a.m. or something stupid. So got lots to do, man. Lots to do.
Busy. It's a weird
busy
feeling.
Times.
Lots to do in Destiny.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
The big question I think on everyone's minds is how much sleep have you not been getting?
Actually, outside of the first after release night, I've been doing pretty well. I am extremely lucky to have a wife that keeps me in line when it comes to that. So if it's time to go to bed, it's mostly time to go to bed. Fridays and Saturday nights are known to be like super late night, like 4 a.m. streams. But other than that, it's like when it's time, she's like, all right, let's go do this thing. Not like
tell your friends good night, Ben.
Tell your internet person that you've got
brandishing a rolling pin and a very stern look.
Oh, jeez. No. She's a saint when it comes to this stuff, and has done far more than I even give her credit for openly. With the way that things have transitioned after I went full time, and then and with Destiny, especially with Destiny 2's release, the way we kind of look at it is I'm on a business trip, and it's true. I mean, I've got stuff I've got to do. I have requirements that I need to make. Rogue is a team comprised mostly of Rogue, because a couple of our guys won't be available, is going for World First in the raid, and then again with Trials. I don't know if they'll be able to track the Trials World First stuff, just because if they do the same thing with Destiny 1 and make it a joint social space, that kind of ruined that, because the way that they do the tracking wasn't available anymore. But if it's possible, we're going to do it. So I'm very excited for Wednesday. I'm even excited for probably the first time in 3 years, the reset, which is so weird, because I'm like, gotta get in and do more nightfalls and get after everything for the weekly. Figure out a good schedule for all of that, which is gonna be hell on my wife, because I'll probably be getting up again Tuesday morning at like 6 a.m. to go stream. She'll be like, "Baby, don't you have to sleep?" I'm like, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." We're gonna have Worlds first.
That'll be next week. This race, poisoning myself with all the caffeine and not eating enough. I know. I think maybe casting our minds back to release night is probably I just want to know what everyone was feeling. What were they doing? How was it? How was it for everybody? Release night.
I want to start off and say it was much worse than I expected, because I was surprised by the fact that I could play the game 4 hours earlier than I expected. So I've had my whole evening planned around taking a nap for 4 hours. And I was like, before I went to take a nap, I clicked on the button just to make sure it was all downloaded, and it started, because I system share with somebody who lives in Wales, and I just didn't think that would be enough for me to be able to play. Oops. And then it went, and I was like, well, I don't need a nap. I'll be fine. And so I was fuck it. So I was pretty exhausted, I would say, the whole time I was playing. I don't remember most of my first playthrough, the first night. But yeah, very hype though. I had that going for me. Anyone else?
Launch night was like the I've always been annoyed at the switch to Wednesday instead of Friday, and I had this whole thing about taking the day off, but I took the day off for Wednesday, so Tuesday night I could stay up late, and it was the right decision, because I would have been the worst employee the next day, absolutely. But it started for 9 p.m. for me, which was perfect. I like ran an errand after work, got home, cooked up some dinner, and then had like 20 minutes to kill before the game started, and that was great. And I was just like, that was amazing. So I was pretty happy with that. And then Miss Bones decided to sit and watch the opening and at least past Homecoming, which she's already played. So there's more to see after that. So she stuck around until I got, you get your light back and all that. But I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I got the queue, it was like 20 minutes before I could officially launch it while it was full, which I was fine with. I was very patient, silently waiting. And then this whole like memories thing pops up, and I'm like kind of tearing up. And she's like, "What's that mean?" And I'm just like, "Nothing. It's just the first time I did the Black Garden with Greenie. No big deal." And I'm like getting emotional. But I loved that part. And then I played until 4 a.m. and woke up at 8 a.m. So I got about 4 hours of sleep and felt great.
You had plenty of Rockstar and Pop-Tarts to hold you over.
Jesus.
Yep.
Mixed them together in a big bowl.
God damn it.
Oh my lord.
You would. What about you, Fallout?
Well, I played at about midnight for like a little bit. My girlfriend and I were really torn because we were like, we really want to play now because it just went live. Holy shit, we want to play so badly. So we played for like a little bit. We were like, but we should really sleep because that way we can get kind of well rested, wake up tomorrow, and we both have off of work. We could just play the whole day. And that's only really going to happen if we could stay up till like 4 or 5 a.m. right now. We could, but that might be fucked up. So let's get some rest, go to bed, wake up in the morning and play. And my fucking girlfriend was tossing and turning all night like a fucking 8-year-old on Christmas Eve. Like, she's like shaking me at like 5 a.m. She's like, I can't fall asleep. I'm like, well, that really fucking sucks. I'm trying to sleep though. So like, you let me sleep.
I mean, I would have been with, I don't know how you could. I'm with Anno because like, even though I stayed up until like 6 a.m., I tried to go to sleep after, and I'm just laying there and be like, man, I could probably grind a little bit more before I fall asleep.
It was like bear hibernation. You know how like they say on like Discovery Channel or whatever, like they hibernate. They're not like really asleep. They're like kind of awake and like a little bit alert.
Yeah.
I don't know if you fucking know that about bears. Random bear facts here on the fucking PD podcast.
Are you questioning my fucking bear knowledge?
This man's bear knowledge.
Do you think I don't know anything about bears? All right.
What's your favorite animal?
Do you know that bears eat beets?
Can you do a nature lesson every week? Quick fact.
Just a quick little nature lesson. But I was getting those weird dreams. Where like
my name's Fallout.
You ever have those dreams
bears.
where like you dream? It's like it's too real. Where like I was dreaming that like I was playing D2 and I was like leveling up my character and I was like, oh, I'm like level 5 now or whatever. And then like I wake up and I look at the clock. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude, what are you doing? Like you're dreaming about the game that you're dreaming about grinding. Go to bed and then grind.
Yep.
You don't have to dream about grinding.
I did the good thing. I did a grandpa thing, man. I went to bed and just woke up at 6. Went the whole day.
Good
More
lord.
power to you, man. Yeah. My launch experience, I think, started way before the actual launch time in the U.S. because I scrambled, like you would not believe, to find a ticket to fly to New Zealand like all these other broadcasters, and I just couldn't do it. I don't know what was going. Like all the flights were booked. They were crazy expensive.
Where'd they get the money?
Where'd they get the money? Where were they all staying that they had
Did
the
Rogue
exact
not
same
charter
setup
you
at home?
a personal jet to fly to New Zealand? I thought Rogue paid for that stuff. Now I'm confused.
Not yet, man.
VPN Airlines,
Talk to them
man.
about that. You gotta ask them.
Airlines. Yeah, it was weird seeing everybody with like the same setups they had at home, but located in New Zealand. Like they moved all their houses too. That shit was crazy. So having to twiddle my thumbs for 16 hours while they all did. No, it's fine. Like I talked about this on stream a bunch of times. Like I had no issue with any of that. More power to it. The only problem I ever had was if you said you weren't going to do it and then you did it anyway. Like you flipped.
Like you made a point. Yeah.
I mean, kind of a hypocrite, but it's cool. But it wasn't a big deal. In the end, like, it's not going to matter and you know, because like I said on Twitter, I'm just gonna crush them all anyway, right? Right? Yeah. So I stayed up. I tried to take a nap. I maybe slept for like an hour or two beforehand, and found it very difficult with my son running up and down the hallway, my dog barking, and all sorts of crap going on in my house. So I laid on the couch in the living room for a few hours, and then started streaming probably at like 9 p.m. that night, and then release for me was at 11. And then I streamed Destiny 2 for 17 hours after that, straight, without stopping. And then I slept a whole crap load, and that was awesome. But it was seriously like you were saying before, you make a joke about it, but we finally have things to do again in Destiny, which we haven't had available to us for forever, it feels like. Literally months, if not almost years, because of how fast some players just smash through the content, and then we just sit there and do nothing for a while. And I'm 100% guilty of that. It's nice to have something to do. Even tonight, I've been trying to, you know, we have light level to push, and we have a raid coming Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, and then again, Trials is Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, and we have things to like get leveled up for. Fallout has flies to kill in real life. We have all sorts of stuff. Destiny related flies.
Destiny related.
Yeah.
So it's nice. It feels good to be back.
It does. It does feel good.
Oh yeah.
What's your power level, Lupo?
What's your power level?
What's your power level?
Why did they change the term?
Mine's pretty big.
I don't know.
They
I don't understand that.
even made a point of taking away your light, and so your power level goes down in 10. Why did they not just call it light?
It's all.
I'm opening the menu on the console
it's
right
all
now.
media. It's all media backlash because Gaul, like, spoiler alert, like turns into light, and the public really doesn't respond to the term light anymore. They don't like it, so we shifted to power. It's just, you know, it's to appease the masses. It's fine.
It just doesn't make. It doesn't make any sense to me that they changed one word. Why light to power?
I don't know. Especially because the whole point is you keep getting your light back, like, throughout it. Yeah, it just doesn't.
Why did they change armor to resilience? Why does anybody do anything? I don't even know.
Some guy at Bungie just needed something to do, and he was like, I don't really have
a better, more colloquial term. This feels better for everyone. Boop. And then Mark Noseworthy gets the little memo on his desk, opens it up, and says, I don't give a shit. Ship it. And no, Mark's probably fine. I'm sure they all had a hand in it. It is one of those things. Like mobility instead of agility, resilience instead of armor, and then recovery.
Yeah,
it stayed. Why was recovery good enough?
What
why
about
not?
this? What about this? What about this?
Pitch me.
Mobility is more than. Well, I guess I can't argue that one. Agility and mobility are very, very, very similar. Resilience, though, makes sense when two of the classes don't really wear armor. If you think about it, like
Bones,
I'm running around in a North Face jacket in my Warlock. That's not really armor. So maybe that's what they mean.
Maybe
that's urban armor, baby.
And the
all right.
Warlock stuff has robes. Yeah,
I am looking at armor plating on my Hunter literally right now, and I'm just saying maybe the resilience, because I have a female human Hunter. Maybe the resilience directly increases the thickness of her thighs. Which, can we just comment on the fact that for some reason from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, all of the female model, the human female model, got thicker in the thighs and butt for no reason.
There's a reason, and it's for my enjoyment, baby. All right.
It just does that.
It's a triple jump, man. The triple jump's better, so they're doing more jumps. That's fattening them out. And obviously, there's some kind of protein shake going on at the farm.
It's in the air, probably.
It's all them chickens, the chicken dinners, man.
I think they built up some muscle mass having to haul their heavy armor when they didn't have their light. You know, they had to use actual muscles now instead of energy.
There you
so
go.
They've got some thick legs.
I want to slap all of you guys for this. Just so you know. There's no explanation for it, and that's the problem. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Game's unplayable. Game's unplayable is what we're saying. Those thighs are too thick.
No, when we get to PC and it's high res, then we're good.
Then we're good. Ooh, PC.
I feel like there's so much to talk about. I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
It's hard. There's a lot. Too much content, Bungie.
Too much content.
Too much content.
Why did you not chop this up into DLC and ship it to us for $9.99 every month? What is your problem, Bungie? Calling you out. I'm calling you out.
On this episode,
I think another thing is
Luke
everyone's
Smith, you
got
son of a
fatigue
bitch.
as well. Like, hardly anyone slept and like playing so hard at the moment.
I
It's
don't
like
even know if this is real. Honestly, I might be dreaming right now.
hallucinations are starting to kick in. It's like, does anyone in the chat mind if all of us just sleep together for half an hour for a bit? Just a podcast of sleep, promoting the fact that you should take a break.
We are sleeping together. Apparently, I like this.
Yes, a five-piece.
This is only our
waiting
second
for
date,
this
man.
night.
Come on.
Yeah. How did you guys like the story? I don't know. There's a question.
There's
for
a
you.
question. There's
That's
a
good
freaking
start.
question for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I finally felt like there were characters that I gave a shit about, and I fully accept that the Exo Stranger will forever disappear into nothingness, and Bungie's gonna look at it and go, "Who? What? What are you talking about? This is, I don't know what you're talking about." I also like, so Destiny 2 did something that I wish Destiny 1 would have done earlier in its existence, and that's not take itself so seriously. Destiny 1 was really riding high and mighty for the initial release, and it took a little bit of working the guts, punching them up a little bit before they realize that, maybe this isn't the right way to go with this game. And then you add one heavy dose of Nathan Fillion, and you're 100% clear after that, because he is hilarious. He does an excellent job with Cade. The voice actors actually across the board in D2 have been, oh man, Failsafe, one of the funniest characters.
She's super
Failsafe
funny.
is so good.
I love
So
Failsafe. Yes.
Very funny.
Yes. A lot of people tell me they hate Failsafe. I'm like, what are you talking about?
it's not- it's
It's
just
not
funny.
murder if it's robots, okay?
Yeah.
It's not murder if it's robots. And that right there is proof that they did something right this time, is because I actually remember the interactions this time around. And Destiny 1, all I really remember is spamming through the story eventually, because I got so bored with the nothing, and being like, all right, here's the goal for this raid. Here's why I'm in there. This is a boss, and he has loot, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of him and get the loot, and I'm gonna leave. I don't care other than that. Like, I just didn't care. I found myself not caring. And this time around, because I feel like they could really do what they wanted to with the game, and the story, just the way things were written, I am emotionally invested. By the end of it, I was like, we gotta fuck Gaul up, make him look like a bitch. And I did, and it was awesome. And everybody else that has gotten to that point yet, I hope you enjoyed that fight. Spoiler alert, you do fight Gaul. Sorry.
It does happen.
Sorry about that.
Damn it.
Somebody got mad at me for saying that, and I was like, "Well, what did you think every cutscene was building up to the last like 10 hours you've been playing? I don't know what you thought was gonna happen. You were just gonna somehow.
What happens at the end?
You're
You
like
fight
everything was
Gaul,
gonna be merry without fighting him. I don't.
and like you're in this moment when you're grappling, and it's like, we're not too different, you and I.
Oh,
Like, you know what? We're not.
yeah.
And then there's
He
like
hears
this
you-
dance off. It gets really weird.
Yeah,
and-
you refer to
escalates.
your mother Martha, and Gaul's like, "Why did you say that?
Why did you say that to her?
Why did you say that name?
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
You
That'd be
two weave
amazing.
together, you hold each other, and then you play chess to resolve the issue.
there it is.
Move on.
I
Move
challenge
on
you
with
to a
life.
game of wits.
And I think even the story is pretty standard fare, like nothing too surprising, no twists or turns. I enjoyed it, and what I like is I feel like there's been a lot of little hints and setups for future things and all of the scannable objects and crap like that I found.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. I'm excited for like, what does this mean? Because there's actually lore in the game. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or even just some form of exposure to the rest of the universe of Destiny. Whereas in Destiny 1, you didn't have that. There were no like things to look at. There were no little items. There's no lore in the game whatsoever. Now I can open up an exotic and actually read the lore about the exotics in the game instead of having to go to as soon as they add a second pane of glass, man, you just have issues. And I'm glad they realized that for this one and put things in here instead of making you have to dig for it online. So
Yeah.
I have to say that the adventures and the strikes and the quests are incredible when it comes to actually adding more to the universe. And yeah, it requires a bit of listening. Like, you actually have to pay attention. And for me, it is easy to just not hear what's coming through the comms sometimes. But now that I'm listening more, it's amazing. Like the actual information they give, the plot lines in individual strikes. I mean, I don't want to spoil them yet. I haven't played them too much, so I'm imagining people haven't done them all. Go do the strikes. The Savathûn song strike is like the darkest thing Bungie's ever done in Destiny, and I finished that and I'm just like,
one. Damn it.
Like you're just like my fire team was like, we're all quiet. Like we were listening to a strike for the first time in 3 years, and I was just like Jesus,
what's happening?
That was heavy. And we all like kind of like
fall asleep.
Yeah, can we go do some like Crucible to like wash off? That was intense, Bungie. Like it was dark.
It's actually excellent that you mentioned that. So one of the, I believe it's one of the story missions when you go down to get the CPU. You have to like go through the tunnels and stuff, and it's all hive infested. And Samantha, if you're listening, I apologize, but I am 100% looking forward to when it's on PC, watching her play through that, because she doesn't like scary games. It was legitimately like, wow, this set of hallways is terrifying. It's like super narrow, and there's like like at one point you're walking towards a light, and so you can't see what's around it and stuff. And you're like, bad guys could jump out and just rip my face off right now. They did a really good job of really getting creepy in this too. Like Destiny 1, there was no point where I was like, I don't want to go down that hallway. Instead, I would like to go have a picnic maybe and not be here. And that mission and a couple others, I was like, well, it's a good thing I wore diapers while streaming today, because otherwise we would have a brand,
Lupo?
It was a good Freudian slip. Oh, why do I have to go down here?
Why? Explain. Why? Can I just not, please?
Can I not? Yes.
Remember, when you're online buying adult Depends, use promo code Lupo at checkout for 10% off.
Stream for hours.
Yeah, Depends. I'm looking at you right now. I know one of you guys watches this.
Oh my god. That's actually, but what you said about listening to the guys' bones is something I had to train myself to start doing that. Because like I was sitting there and I was playing through something. I was like, wait, what did they just say? I wasn't paying attention. I was like, but wait, I'm actually interested now. Like, focus, man, focus. It's not like the old ones where I just completely zone out and go through it. Like, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, guys.
I think it's a good sign when people aren't like summing up the campaign in like memes. You know what I mean? Like people actually care, like good characters and stories, and it's like, oh, I don't have time to explain the plot of this. It's like, all right, no more of that.
Paula, you're like kind of onto something there. There's no shit talking on the internet.
No,
no one out there is just like, check out this joke of a game that came out last week. Even though I didn't buy it or play it, I just saw this meme. Like, there's none of that. It's just a lot of people going like, damn, this game's really good.
Exactly.
It's like that's the only hot take out there.
But what is everyone's light level? I want to know.
Okay.
275.
285.
I'm trying.
Nice story. That's good.
284.
284.
As soon as I got my head around the mods thing, because at first mods were like,
what's yours,
the hell?
It's 284.
284?
Yeah.
286.
Oh,
there's a reason that I'm a
son
professional
of a
Destiny player. I'm
bitch.
just throwing this out there, right? I'm
this guy.
I'm way behind a lot of other people because I've been taking breaks and sleeping and eating and bathing. And
like a chump.
Yes. Yeah,
like
that's good.
A couple of the guys from Redeem, Modern Tryhard, and those dudes are 300 plus already. There's a handful of people that are 300 plus already. Because they're farming machines, man. They've gotten really lucky with some drops. And they've discovered a couple little intricate tricks, which actually, do you mind if I talk about two of those so that people know about them?
Let's talk.
Okay, so the first one, the one that I know for sure functions this way, which is interesting. Mark Noseworthy and a couple other people posted on Twitter that you don't have to have your most powerful gear equipped to have the engrams read your best light level, right?
Yeah.
It just so happens that that applies to exotics in a really interesting way. So if let's say you have like a 285 helmet and 285 boots, and they're both legendary, okay? And you have like a 287 exotic helmet and a 287 exotic boot, right? So you can only equip one of those, but when the engrams roll, it's going to read both 287 exotics. If it reads your highest light level per slot when it rolls the engram, so if you have a really high boot or like really high anything on either side, so you could have two really good weapons but you can only have one equipped, make sure you have the second one in your inventory all the time, because the engram light level is rolled when it drops, you'll notice. So like you get it, you float over, it says 274. If you put on enough gear that it should go up, it doesn't change. It stays at 274. But make sure you're carrying your highest light level exotic for each slot at any given time, because you'll potentially, it won't reflect on your displayed power, and it won't affect the damage you do, but it will reflect on the engrams that drop. That's super important. Giggle Monster, Gigs, actually posted about that this morning. I saw it, I tested it today, and it 100% works. So that's a big one. The other one is, and Grenadier Jake actually showed this and talked about it in a video on YouTube. I haven't had time to test it yet, but the trend seems to be that a lot of people are reporting this could be 100% placebo, could be totally anecdotal and not actual, but the game seems to lean towards giving you an exotic of the same slot that you have an exotic equipped on when you decrypt the engram. So if you're trying to get something specific, let's say you're like, I need a power weapon real bad, or maybe specifically a shotgun, and you have what's the name of that one? Tractor cannon, the hilarious one in PvP where you knock people back and smack them into walls.
I want that so badly.
I saw a really cool double kill where someone used it and they pushed them up back into a wall, 2 guys at the same time, and killed both guys with 1 shotgun blast. It was amazing. So you should check out Tractor Cannon if you haven't seen it yet. It's a shotgun that does knockback, and everybody's like, "What's a shotgun? You want people to stay close?" Nah, dude, you want to smack them into walls with this thing. It's crazy. But you like put that on when you're about to decrypt your engram, and boom, apparently you have a better chance of getting it in that slot. I guess I thought of a third one too that I've seen disproven, at least from unknown player. Disprove this one. So you can preview the exotics and legendaries and stuff to see what like scope of gear could drop from it. And if you wait 5 minutes, they re-roll. They don't actually. It just changes what previews through the exotic, because unknown player waited and did it and checked it, like looked before he decrypted it, and he got a piece of armor that wasn't in the preview for the exotic. So people were saying, yeah, make sure you preview it, wait 5 minutes if the thing you want is in there. From what he saw, that doesn't actually work.
Busted.
So those are 3 exotic tricks-ish things that I've seen and seen passed around, and I don't know. The way I look at it, if you're looking for something specific, you might as well try them, right?
Yeah.
There's no harm in it.
There's no harm in it.
When it assesses your max light level for drops, does it include the mods that are on your exotics, or only the base value?
It does include the mods, so you want to have your stuff modded if possible.
Okay, so I just was making sure, because there could be a scenario where I could infuse up an exotic, even though it's already technically like higher light than one of my legendaries. I could infuse it up, but maybe I wasn't, because I wasn't going to equip it anyway. Like say I have a 285 legendary and a 286 exotic, I could infuse that legendary into the exotic based off the base value and get a higher
leave the exotic
thing.
in your pocket, because it's counting it when it does the roll anyway. There's no point in doing that.
Right, so. but if I infuse the gear, my boots, into that exotic, it could jump the exotic's level up, plus with the mod on it anyway, because the exotic is technically base level only 281 in that scenario.
Oh yeah. It doesn't look at the base level. It looks at with the mod adjusted.
So you would want to infuse in that situation, then, even if you're not going to wear it. Yes. Okay. Cool. I'm thinking. I like it.
It's engram science, man.
Yeah. Math and stuff, man. It's fun. That's my favorite part about leveling up, is figuring out the ways to like do it most efficiently. I don't know. I love that part of Destiny.
And then when you start getting a big pile of crap you don't need, and you're like, yeah, break it down. I'm sitting on 112 legendary shards already that I'm just like, okay. Those are already inconsequential to me now, because I know that we'll get a rain of purples over time, and eventually I won't need to infuse stuff anymore. So.
That's how I am too. And people are saying Xur might take the legendary shards or something. That's the rumor I always.
Because it's like,
hearing.
what else would he take?
Well, yeah, what else would he take? Unless they introduce the currency later, which wouldn't make much sense. So it's got to be legendary. Shards.
Everybody knows he's gonna take the currency of the planet he's on. So you're gonna need European Dead Zone tokens to buy things from him. There's my conspiracy theory right there for you.
That would be kind of interesting, because then it would give you another reason to farm stuff. Honestly.
And they look like strange coins. That's all I'm saying.
Do a little bit.
Wow.
Along the same note,
You could be onto something.
I wouldn't really have an issue with that because they've done so many things in the game already to promote you going back to places that you don't ever feel like you need to go back to. Like one of the biggest non-aim assist related controversies that I've seen on Twitter thus far is, bro, my shaders. I only have 1 million of them. How am I supposed to reshade all this stuff that I want to have 1,000,001 of?
Shadergate.
Let me just go look at my shader inventory right now. Oh, I have 37 out of 50 slots available. Some of these have 37, 35 in the stack already. I've got piles of these things, and I'm not going to just throw shaders on stuff all willy-nilly. I'm going to get a piece of gear that I like, and it's not like you're gonna get too many items that because there's no random rolls anymore. So literally, like if you go to look at like your hunter or Titan or Walk, and pick one single class. I have a mobility as survivalist and a heavy hunter armor piece. And then you basically have, I mean, those are the 3 that you need, and you have all the possible stat combinations right there. You're not going to try and farm this. You're like, oh, I really want a better, hunter mobility piece. It's going to be the exact same piece, just at a higher power, so you're just going to infuse it anyways. You just need one shader. So
my only issues with this whole thing is that I am someone who changes shaders a lot for fun, and very first world problem, but in making videos, I oftentimes have to change shaders around for making like dumb dance videos and stuff. So I'm holding on to all legendary shaders pretty much forever until we're making videos with them. But
farm like crazy, man.
Yeah, I know. But I don't think it's a huge deal, a huge impact to the average player. I think they could easily amass enough. It's only going to be weird for like raid shaders. Are you going to have to play the raid like however many times?
You have to do it multiple times, yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, if the raid's good, I'm gonna be fine with.
It gives you a reason to go back.
Incentive at least, too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people already did the raids like 600 times in Destiny 1. Like, I don't think those people need to worry.
I was gonna say, Lono has literally nothing to complain about. I think he did Wrath of Machine between normal and heroic on PlayStation and Xbox like 1,200 times or something stupid. Yeah, that man is a machine. When we were at the reveal, that's one of the things we talked about, and he eventually was like, he likes it, but after you've done it so many times, he got so autopilot like doing it that he didn't even think about some of the mechanics anymore, because he was just like, you just don't even do it anymore. It's all muscle memory. So he would go to positions and he would have like full conversations with someone else. No one would do call outs. He just like, everything would just happen anyway. No one would die. They're like, it's the same thing over and over again. I don't understand how he and like Syntax did the like the no, like if you die, perma-destiny. Like if you die, you delete the character, and he got to 400 light and like beat everything. Like, I don't understand how they did that shit, dude. Put me in an arena where I respawn and I shoot idiots in the face repeatedly. That's great. PvP side, forever. And I can do, obviously, I mean, we go for PvE world first stuff, and I love the raids and all that, but that many times, man, no. Even just talking about it, I can see Bones is falling asleep. Like, it's exactly.
That's like speedrunner style, like people who play the same game for like 20 years so they can maximize the glitches.
Seconds. There's 5 seconds there that I didn't get. This run is trash. Yeah, like I just.
It's like people are they're entitled to play the game however they like, and we encourage that. But
absolutely.
At the same time, it's like I've talked to people before who have come into my Twitch chat and they're like, yeah, I've never done trials before. I was like, oh, well, that's a shame. You could have done that. It was fun. It's like I never did a raid either. It's like, okay. In fact, I don't really play that much PvP. I'm like, well, what do you do? Like,
No.
You're telling me you have 4,000 hours in this game?
You're actually outlining the answer to a really good question I saw in chat, or a statement that somebody made, being frustrated that they killed Gaul in the story. That person is the exact reason that Gaul dies in the story, is because they advertised in a huge way that Gaul was the bad guy. And so if you're a solo player, you don't have any friends that play, you hate PvP, you're never going to do the raid, if you're that person, you still get to experience Destiny 2 start to finish, and that's it. Right?
Exactly.
And then after that, all the stuff outside, there's like, here's the core story, all the stuff outside is for all those other players. But that middle, that brunt of it, the real meat is for the people that are casual. It's like a dad that goes to work all day, gets 2 hours a night to play video games, and that's it. And he's got kids he wants to hang out with. He's got schedule on the weekends. He doesn't have any other time. He has 2 hours like a week. That's the guy, because eventually he's going to beat the story before the DLC comes out. Might take him 2 hours a week for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months straight, but he still gets to experience Destiny 2, the whole story start to finish. I think people forget.
Right.
Destiny is not. It's not the kind of game that's designed
for freaks like us.
For players that play excessively or really push the limits of the game as fast as they can. It's not for min-maxers. It's for
everybody.
It's for everybody. It's for everybody, which actually could lead into something that I know I want to talk about big time, and I know I can feel it in the back of some people's mind. Because I mentioned the aim assist thing on PC and the way that all that works, because there was a ton of stuff on Twitter, dude. Whenever you want to talk about that, just you tell me, because
I want to talk about it now. I want to hear Lupo's passion.
If you want to go into it, we can go into it now. So
do it. Fire it.
So when you plug in a controller on PC, you get aim assist, and that is, I know, Bones, just flip your table, dude. We're just go shut down the subreddit, man. We're done. I think
you mentioned their name, Lupo. Now they're going to talk about you. You can't do that.
It's true.
So you plug it in and you get aim assist, and that's fine. And Mark Noseworthy tweeted before the release, I think before the PC beta, way before the PC beta, that their goal is for, if you want to play with a controller on PC, they want you to feel like get the same experience that you do on console, because like you said, they're trying to scope the game for everyone, and they're doing it the right way. I'm going to tell you flat out, before PC release, they are not going to get rid of that. Aim assist will be in at release, because the game is not scoped for high competitive play. It's scoped for everyone, and that's totally fine, because a couple things come off of that. One, native mouse aim with no aim assist, and how fast you can spin on people. There were so many times in stream during the beta that I would jump over people at B flag on that control map, and just spin like a top on top of them and melee, dodge roll, melee, and just beat the. Like, I didn't have to fire a shot, because I could get above them and get behind them and just keep whooping their ass repeatedly. And those kind of things, and sniping. Oh, it felt so good. We could actually talk about that too, because there's an issue with the sniping in Destiny 2 and PvP right now, that maybe some people have or haven't seen. Talk about that in a second. But whether you're using a controller or a mouse and keyboard through a Zim on PC, you get aim assist. But there's just the skill ceiling for that is so much lower than native mouse aim that it's not going to be an issue when it comes to highly competitive play. You won't see anybody go, yeah, I totally want to use a controller, because they're going to get worked by really good mouse players, and I'm not really afraid of that.
It's so refreshing, Ben, listening into, like, because this is being a Zim user myself for like 2.5 years, and really mouse and keyboard, that's where it is for me. I've classically trained on a PC, rather. That's my native
classically
thing.
Trained.
Yes, right? Fiddling with the violins and all that kind of razzle-dazzle. But no, I love that. That's the way that I'm naturally kind of wired. Moving over to a Zim, because I'm still wearing my compression thing here because I've got injury in my hand. So playing with a controller, I love it, but it's hard. So I played with a Zim for a long, long time and came to the conclusion that it's not a patch on real mouse and keys. But you can't just explain that to people. And now with this native mouse and keyboard available on PC, and it is clearly top dog. If you can get familiar with native mouse and keys, it doesn't matter about people plugging in Zims and getting aim assist. Because like aim assist, because it's not just the aim assist, it's the acceleration and the smoothing that is associated with controller. And people think, people with no experience whatsoever on the issue automatically think, oh, it's cheating, it gives you advantage. And it's like, no, don't worry about it. It's the non-problem. Competitive play, top dog, native mouse and keys. Forget about everything else, because it's negative. All of these things negatively impact your aim. But trying explaining that to folk that have no experience with Zims, no experience with native mouse and keyboards, and no experience with like aim assist on top of mouse and keyboards, and it's so hard for them to compute because they just try and put the things together and they don't get it, you know.
There's a third venue too. Since it's coming to PC, people will use virtual controllers to try and do the same thing, and you're still, the game will still see you using a controller. You're still going to be fighting the same stuff as before. It won't matter in the long run. It will not matter. There's one thing that you will see though, and I talked about this on a different podcast I was on earlier. So the tiering of weapons, I am curious to see how they do balancing with both PC and console at play, and aim assist and non-aim assist at play on PC, because in the PC beta, Better Devils shined, especially with a mouse.
100%.
The reason it's not that it was that hand cannons are way better than everything else. Look at it this way. We'll say this side is the aim assist side, and this side is the non-aim assist side, okay? Better Devils was about right here on both sides. They were pretty much the same because you had a low rate of fire, high impact. It wasn't even that high weapon. So we'll say over the course of a single second, you had to have the reticle on the target 4 times and pull the trigger in order to get the kill. Right now, the aim assist side, as you go down, you had like pulse rifles and autos and everything else, right? But because on the non-aim assist side, for optimal time to kill, you had to have the reticle on the head, the whole time, and there's no aim assist, so it's more difficult for lower skilled players. Other weapons did not shine nearly as much because, let's say, over the course of a second, you have to have the reticle on the head 4 times or 20 times. Which would you rather do? With no aim assist, you would much rather do the 4 times, because then you only have to have the reticle on the head 4 times in a second to get max time, the best time to kill. The other way, the other side of that, an auto or a pulse, you're not going to be able to track the head in the same way as well if you're not as good with the mouse. So that's why they looked better if you had aim assist. If you don't have aim assist, they just felt like trash. And so that's why everybody, like, by the end of it, dude, I was running Sunshot, Better Devils, and just smoking people because it was so much easier to hit those 4 or 5 shots than have to worry about, like, because if it starts, as soon as you start missing with an auto rifle or pulse rifle, and if they're using a hand cannon, you are going down. Going down. Yeah. That's why I'm not worried about like Mida being super OP on PC or anything like that, because it's a scout rifle still. You're gonna have to hit the same. You have to hit a lot of shots. Granted, it's only 5 direct headshots to kill. So it's doing 44 damage to the head on console right now. But still, a hand cannon can kill faster than that with less headshots. So that's an important thing for people to remember when it comes to like balancing. And so because of that, I don't know what they're going to do, because on PC they're going to say, well, all these higher rate of fire, the more bullets, the lower damage guns, they're going to require a tuning difference to get them in line with hand cannons that won't occur on console, and you won't need if you have aim assist. So because of the way that they view the game as a more casual experience, all that stuff, I don't think that they're going to do anything about it. I think hand cannons will reign on PC pretty much forever, unless they completely gut the guns, and I don't think that they're going to do that. Because they were tons of fun to use. In
the beta, it was like, oh my god, imagine year 1 hand cannons on console, but add an extra layer of sex sauce on top of it. They just felt great. It's like, that's how a gun really should feel in a game. It's like... And it rewarded a really good aim. Like, I was using my new mouse and keys, just loving it. And when I was off shot, it was my fault. It was very clear, like, it just felt so good. But yeah, bring the other weapons up in line with that. Don't nerf the hand cannons, please,
It's just going to be tough to do it, because if they try and tune it up for PC being the target, then when you have aim assist, or if you're on console, like, then hand cannons will be completely worthless, because you see what I'm saying? They have to bring autos and pulses up so high that people won't even use the hand cannons.
It's a different, like, Vicarious Visions and the guys. It's a completely different team doing the actual.
Well, Bungie still has their hand in it, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. But it's going to be like a different lay of the land. I mean, you could tell, like, there is bloom on hand cannons on console. That you can see it straight away. I was watching Gigs more or less prove it in one of his streams. I haven't played too much with hand cannons in PvP myself, but I've watched it. Then there is on PC. There was no bloom at all, or I didn't.
It was very slight. What they did is I think Gigs might have done it or somebody else did. They showed, they used a controller. This is on the PC beta, and they just shot at a wall with a controller plugged in using, right trigger. And the recoil was maybe 3 times as much as if you use native mouse. So the recoil if you use native mouse is significantly lower, and that's to help make up for the lack of aim assist, because guns in Destiny bounce a crap ton if you're shooting at nothing. And on PC, they don't bounce nearly as much. It's significantly less. And actually, to the same point, and I think the video that I saw was on console, but I know it was a thing on PC too. It seems that the bullet magnetism in this game in PvP, especially for snipers, is tuned way up from what it was in Destiny 1. It's not aim assist. It's a different mechanic. Bullet magnetism is like, so let's say you're shooting at somebody, and you swipe past their head and you take the shot, and it's going to go like up over here, just past the target's head. Yeah. Instead, even though your reticle is up there, the bullet goes boop and hits him in the face. And I watched it was like a 45-second video somebody linked to me of somebody with the snipe in the beta sliding and looked like a pretty good player, swiping on people with a snipe, clearly missing if you slow it down, like 100% missing, and they were getting headshots with it.
Yeah. That's sort of like how the mechanics were in Halo 2 PvP. There was a lot of, it was like sweep sniping. Like you would slow down in these peoples who were making these montages of crazy Halo 2 plays, and they're sweeping it across just like Lupo said. And it's like you can see the white trail of the sniper going off there, and then the guy's just like, and his head explodes. It's like, what was that?
Totally wrong, but
so it's the movie Wanted. We're curving the bullets.
Basically,
bullets.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. That makes sense to me. I understand now.
However,
that's a Bungie philosophy, though, isn't it? Though they like that because it looks impressive. It's impressive for a player, and it's impressive for a viewer. You don't really get that with other developers and other games so much.
Not as much, and part of that is again because they want more casual players to feel comfortable in the environment, and that's okay. But I think the negative impact of that is that the skill ceiling comes down. When you do that, when you make it easier. When you have mechanics at play to make lesser skilled players be able to do land shots like that, you bring the skill ceiling down, and so there are players that aren't as good as others that will think that they're as good as others, and that can create kind of some turmoil.
Then they become professional Destiny 2 players named DrLupo. Yeah,
exactly.
But that's that Bungie don't care about things. It's not a consideration for them. Like when the skill ceiling drops, they're like, that's not our goal. We're not making a game here that's going to top the charts on the competitive. It's not going to slake the thirst of all these competitive players. They're not aiming to replace Counter-Strike or Overwatch in any kind of capacity. And that's going to be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of real big PvP fans, like the enthusiasts or aficionados. But it's just the way that it is. It's like the Bungie's behavior is quite clear in that area.
It doesn't mean, though, that the game can't be seen in a competitive light at the same time.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
They can find a happy medium where things feel really comfortable for everybody to play. No one's bitching about the XYZ thing not working right, or hit detection, that kind of thing. And I will say that on PC, I had almost no instances of latency. No, I had very few gun-to-gun trades, and if maybe 10 total over the course of 4 days of playing 12+ hours every single day. It felt immaculate on PC, and then almost immediately released the first PvP match I play on console. I think I traded like 3 or 4 times, and I was just like, fuck! The whole time. It's another thing that makes me, I can't wait for PC. In fact, some people said that they saw client-to-client traffic on the console beta that was not even present on PC. Like there was communication between clients at a much higher frequency on console because it is more peer-to-peer, it seems, than it is on PC. There's more of a dedicated server backend on PC, which just makes me smile even more. Man, I cannot wait for the PC release. So it's looking good.
Interesting.
But yeah,
this Lupo guy really making me want a PC. Let me tell you,
dude, it was so fun. God,
trust me.
Right there with him.
I watched you all from the fucking outside of the window on Twitch, just like a little kid, hoping I could get there someday. I was a little orphan boy on Christmas watching families eat their dinner.
Like, so many nice presents.
I wanted that.
Yeah, it was the
really
PC
good.
experience was almost moving. How it might be one of the best feeling games that I've ever played on my machine, and it feels really good to say that because now I can look at a $5,000 rig and say, yeah, it was worth it. Maybe
it wasn't all for the porn, mostly.
Yeah, it mostly is for the porn. 95% is for the porn.
I need to apologize to some of the community on behalf of all the PC talk. Because look at Bones over there. I love it.
Rub it on your face, Bones.
Because, like, if you're a console player, I understand how one might get tired of the excessive circle jerk going on. And, like, we got to apologize. But it's like, fucking Bones is going a little too far over there. What the fuck is happening?
I don't
know. I'm licking a graphics card, listeners at home.
But it was so fun. And, like, it takes me back a little bit because back in D1, I started off on the Xbox. Then everyone was like, oh, PlayStation exclusives. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, we got all this crazy shit. And I'm sitting over here like, oh, you fucking assholes. Shut up already with the PlayStation garbage. But yeah, dude, the beta on the PC, it was so fun. I'm so excited for the PC release. I was really afraid of mouse and keyboard just because like I don't have a lot of experience with it. But it just happened so quickly. And it felt so smooth. Mm-hmm. So smooth.
It's becoming familiar. I was talking to this with DFP, Shake, Destiny 4 Police. We were having a bit of a public event session the other day, and it's just becoming familiar. Like, if you've been playing Destiny since the beginning on console and you are very good with your game sense, you understand the game very well, you're a naturally good player, but you've never touched mouse and keys, all you've got bridging the gap between that is familiarization with input. That is it. There's a lot of not really a fear, but there's like an apprehension of, am I going to get destroyed just because I know nothing about mouse and keys? It's like, no, man. It's just two things. Two things in your hands. Get stuck in. Use it.
Yeah, but it's separate. I don't understand.
I don't know how it.
What is?
Well, I
don't get it. PhD to figure
thumbs turns into hands, and then you go.
This is me.
It's not like
my pinky has to do stuff now. What the hell?
Oh yeah.
Well, that yes,
true.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yo, if you play with the keybinds that I use, your pinky's gonna have a freaking 6-pack by the time you're done.
Oh no, thank you.
Oh, you're old school.
No. When I watch,
not a thing.
When I watch Lupo play, your pinky looks like it has a mind of its own or something. Like your pinky has like 6 extra joints that mine doesn't. I don't really understand what's going on.
So one thing I saw that I really enjoyed seeing is 99.9% of other broadcasters that stream the PC beta, if they did, if I watched it for 5 minutes, nobody was sliding, dude. Nobody was sliding repeatedly. No. And then you come into my stream and people are like,
how are you sliding so much?
And I'm like,
dude,
bitch, you just gotta sprint and slide. And they're like, I don't know how you're doing that. And I put the keyboard cam on PC and they're like, there's no way. You're like constantly moving the whole time. Yeah. That was another thing too. Even like, there are a lot of really big names. And let me tell you, I got to play with Tim the Tatman, Dr. Disrespect, Ninja, like a bunch of huge Twitch personalities. None of them could move that way. They were very static. Stiff. And so I would just like, it was so funny. There's a clip from Dr. Disrespect's stream, and he's playing with Tim the Tatman, and Tim's like, do you got anybody else on? I just want to win. And Dr. Disrespect goes, do you want to dominate? And Tim's like, yo, who do you got? And he says, I might be able to get Dr. Lupo, and pulls me up on his friends list. And literally right after that, my chat turns into just this like giant list of, yo, Doc wants to play with you. Like his viewers are ravenous when it's time to pick somebody else up. They just come and they're like, yo, Doc wants to play, Doc wants to play, Doc wants to play. I'm like, oh, okay, so
Lupo's like, I'm not really in the mood. I don't think so, guys.
I think I'm going to bed.
Crazy, dude.
Like, wash my hair.
Ooh. But yeah, like seeing all these other guys, these other players that play a lot of PC games, they don't move. They weren't in tune with Destiny's movement, at least at the beginning. A lot of them, I watched Shroud play, and eventually he started to get the hang of it. And he's an old, he used to be a CS:GO professional player, now turned PUBG full-time broadcaster. He's crazy good. Like his aim is insane. So he's the kind of player that will make auto rifles and pulse and stuff on PC work. He will hit every headshot. He will annihilate people. But it's going to take him a little bit of time. And a lot of those guys said the same things that we've been saying now about the game, is that it just felt so good. What they put out on PC, and I let me say this very clearly to everybody that cannot, will not, refuses to play it on PC, can't do it because they don't have the money and they just want to play on console. Maybe you see it as a console game. I really desperately hope you enjoy it. But after October 24th, you have a really good chance of not running into me on PvP or PvE, so hopefully you will enjoy it more, because I might make you cry otherwise. No, it's it's going to be hard for me to go back. I bought it on Xbox, I bought it on PlayStation, and I'll play it on those too. Battlefield guys shooped it in chats. They did really well too. There's a lot of those other people are like looking at Destiny now, because on PC it just felt so right. Yeah. It felt so right.
I feel like Lupo and Story too, like people who've been using the Zim all this time that are mouse and keyboard players, PC gamers, like you went over to Destiny because you love it, but you've basically been like shackled for 3 years. Like it's kind of what you like, but you're shackled at the same time. And now you've been given the game that you love, but with the exact movement and control that you want. And it's like fucking wild dogs being let off their leashes. And I'm scared. I'm honestly scared to play.
You should be.
Yeah. I'm playing
I don't think I have to worry about it. I'm going to guess I would never match against you if skill-based matchmaking is in there at all. It's never going to happen. I've never once seen you in Crucible.
I'm playing Destiny 2 on a controller. Like I'm no good with controllers. It fucking hurts, but I enjoy using them. I'm playing Destiny 2 on a controller now because I don't want to get used to that janky Zim bullshit anymore. The aim assist, I don't want it anymore. It's like, thanks, it's coming.
Dude.
Yeah.
Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, so it's coming, man. So I don't want to get used to it. So yeah, man, it's changing. The PvP experience for PC beta was definitely a lot more free for me. But I'm still going to play console as well. I've got lots of friends, and I think this goes for a lot of PC guys, that we've been playing with these people for the last 3 years, and the people that aren't coming over to PC, we want to still keep things going with them, keep everything nice and social. And
don't lie to me, Story. You're never gonna fucking talk to me again after this, all right? You don't have to lie.
Mate. I will. I promise you, I will. You're gonna talk to me. You're
gonna send me messages and just say, "LOL, get a PC, loser, PC Master Race."
No, because right. I don't want to throw something negative down here, but I guarantee you, population on PC after all of the PvE stuff has been consumed is going to be minimized down to a lot of PvP enthusiasts. So if you like playing the PvE stuff and you want to play raids, that's going to get a little bit more difficult, I think, to find teams as freely as you would do. And are you going to have the same kind of level of friends pool that you can just dip into after the communities that you built on console? So I can't see myself turning my back on that, to be honest.
Good. You can turn your back on me, baby. I like the view. It's fine.
Come and visit me. Come and visit me and sit here and play. That'd be nice.
Oh, goodness. Okay. What else is there to talk about?
This has been an incredibly enjoyable podcast for me. I just want to say. Enjoying this conversation so much.
There's nothing negative to talk about is the thing. Okay,
no,
okay. Let me. I thought of something. I thought of one thing.
Good.
Hot take.
So, the general consensus I've seen from a lot of current Destiny 1 competitive players that, as time went on, the scene kind of developed in an interesting way. Some old school players bounced out because the meta changed too much or because they got bored with it. And a lot of, they get called year 3 kids, that kind of thing, got really into it. I have seen a lot of, this game is too slow. on Twitter and all in Twitch chats and stuff and people's streams that they feel like on console. And I almost agree with this. After I've played Battlegrounds, I've been playing a lot of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. After I played Battlegrounds,
it's damn entertaining.
And then I jumped back to Destiny on console. Destiny 1 was actually kind of fine, but Destiny 2 just feels different. It feels like everybody's running in molasses a little bit at first. Like it takes you a second to get used to the pace that the game is played at. And I think I almost agree that the PvP does feels far more Halo than Destiny 1 did. And for me, I think I'm okay with that. On PC, it felt great. But on console, I do feel like I am spending a lot of time hugging a corner and popping out and shooting people, which makes me very curious to see what Trials is going to be like this Friday, because it is Countdown. It'll bounce between Countdown and Survival, which is really cool. But I think there's going to be a lot of sitting back and waiting for the other. It's going to be a really complex game of chess because you have to look for an opportunity. Now, that being said, yesterday, it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Playing some PvP matches. I got Survival on that Burning Shrine looking map. Which one is that?
Altar of Flame?
Altar of Flame, yeah.
Altar of Flame. On Altar of Flame. And that might have been one of the most exciting, most competitive games of PvP I've ever played in Destiny, because we were waiting for each other to do stuff. It was a team of 4 versus their team of 4, and we ended up winning 4-3. But every single time, it was like as soon as someone was out of position, we would do our thing and collapse on them and get a life on them. And if we had the revival advantage, we would wait for them to push on us, because if you have the revival advantage and the timer finishes, you get the round win. And so we were like going back and forth, waiting to see if we could make a play on the other person. But it is constant stalemate. Is kind of a way to describe it, but it's very like, it's almost exciting if you're into that, and not everybody's gonna be. But I very much enjoyed that. That. So
yeah, absolutely.
I kind of like that gameplay too. Like when the beta was out, all the streamers I watch were playing Quickplay, which I get. It's like it's more exciting at times and less like mentally draining, but I like the competitive aspect, like the feel of it, where it's kind of a slower chess game of waiting every now and then. It's the highs and lows are kind of fun to me.
The games are much longer. Like the games are much more longer and much more involving. I saw Bones tweeting about this as well, because for some reason this is like generating a lot of people quitting as well. Like, oh, the game's not going the way that I want it in the first 2 minutes, I'm going to quit. That was and that bugs me as well. Like because you need people need to understand, if they're going to sit down and play the competitive playlist, they might need 15 minutes per match, maybe even longer than that, especially as the skill gap gets bigger. Like as you play the playlist more, your skill-based matchmaking starts to generate more. So you're going to be pitched up against opponents that are on the same kind of level as you. And yeah, that's pretty intense kind of stuff, man. You have to be able to dedicate that 20 minutes to a game if you want to play it. And there may have to be some kind of punishment structure for people quitting within the first 2 minutes, you know.
Yep.
I think if I have any complaint with PvP games of any kind, it's for players on my low skill level at least. Supremacy matches don't ever end, like, at all to score. It's literally like we get to like 20 points each on either side, because like everyone's just squatted up in fours. You can never get a crest in a team shot game, like until you wipe out their whole team and you get the last crest, it seems like.
Let me tell you, at every skill level, it's going to play that way. It's going to be, they're always going to go to time. They're always going to be low scoring games, just because the nature of, because it's smart to ball up, dude. As soon as a teammate dies, you literally recover the crest immediately. If things work out right, they only get one crest, even though they killed all 4 of you. It makes sense because everybody's picking up, everybody's recovering, and it's because power ammo, it was shifted out. Not everybody has a shotgun, so you can't run at people, slide shotgun, get the crest immediately. It's all about team shooting, and if everybody's balling up, they're always going to be recovering. They're always going to play that way. The game type slowed down. That one in particular slowed down a ton when they moved shotguns and fusions to the power ammo slot, and that's fine. I think it's going to catch people off guard. If it were that way from the beginning in Destiny 1. If this weapon archetype, kinetic power, energy and power, had been in Destiny 1, it would not have been a surprise. But since it's this way in Destiny 2, after what we've gotten used to in Destiny 1, a lot of people are going to say it's way too slow.
Yeah, I'm too used to running around with the universal remote and supremacy like an asshole and shoulder charging people. So it's a very different world for that game type. Yeah, but
Greg in chat says, so with people leaving the competitive game mode so frequently, should there be some sort of repercussion for those people if they leave early, like maybe a playlist lockout for X amount of time? The problem with that is that it then punishes the casual player. It might say the playlist is competitive, but it is only competitive in
the
name.
mode.
Yeah, it's the mode.
The mode of game. That's it.
Is a competitive mode. Yeah. It's not a competitive playlist in that it should be viewed differently than Quickplay. Quickplay is it, and I think maybe people don't understand that. Quickplay game types play quicker than competitive game types. They just do, because it's about running around and controlling points, killing each other, or maybe supremacy is the odd man out there and should be shifted to competitive, which maybe is a good idea. But the competitive stuff is way more about trying to have those stalemates and playing that stuff out that way. That's how they're designed. And so people are getting terminology. And I was a victim of that too during the console beta, because I said, what the hell's going on here? Why are these, why is the competitive stuff not feel competitive? And that's what people are like, well, it took me like a month to realize that competitive doesn't mean equal. It doesn't mean anything like it. It's the game type is more of a stalemate style game type.
Yeah. The playlist terms are referring to the kind of game mode that you're going to experience in that playlist. That's it. It's nothing. That I think this is where Bungie made a small faux pas by borrowing those terms from games like Overwatch, Quickplay, and competitive, because they have no resemblance to any of that. They could have thought of their own terms, and they're great at things like that. They could have thought of a different name for each of the playlists that would have reflected this experience a little bit more accurately, I think. And they should stop flinging the term competitive around, because so many other games that do that. I think it puts it on track for what their original intention is.
I think your first indication that you shouldn't view it too competitively is the lack of a rank or anything like that. Like, it's not a comp playlist if you can't actually rank up. So you're not really losing anything if somebody quits out, other than a little bit of your time and some frustration, I guess. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Punishment things like bad rewards, I think that's a bad idea. Really is a bad idea. Like, not having any rewards. Playlist lockouts as a punishment.
Well,
maybe.
Okay, look at the playlist lockout like this. You have a half hour, 45 minutes to play before you're going to go to work or before you're going to go to bed, and you get into a match that you zone in, you're down 3-0 already in competitive, and you have one teammate. You're not going to stick around for that. That's going to suck. Yeah, so you want to back out of that and re-queue. But if you back out, you can't play for literally a third of the time that you are available to play. People need to realize, again, they're not gearing it towards a competitive player. They're gearing it towards the casual, more relaxed environment of players.
It's for Joe Sixpack, Joe Everyman. Like, let's say you come home from work, you only got 2 hours to play. Why
does he have a six-pack?
I don't know.
Joe, your average Joe doesn't have one of those. Let's say, it's in beer. It's not
Joe box of wine.
Joe Everyman. Joe box of wine.
Joe Ding Dongs.
And let's say you have a kid, and your kid, I don't know, you have a baby, and the baby is crying in the other room. It's like, oh, you got to put down your controller and go take care of the baby. Oh, guess what? You got kicked for inactivity, and now you've been banned from the playlist.
Teach the baby to play competitive.
I fully intend to let Mini Magwitch cry it out when he or she sprouts into this world, all right? Daddy's trying to win right now. You got to understand.
Mommy will tend to you. Daddy is trying to slay noobs. Hold on.
You pipe down. I just got a shotgun.
I wanted to pitch one thing to you guys. What do you think about, like, when you load into Quickplay, how you don't know what you're going to get, what match you're going to get? What do you think of, like, a voting system the way that a lot of Halo games have had in the past? Do you like that or hate that? I don't know how I feel about it either way.
You could get stuck in stuff that's the thing that I think.
I already get stuck in stuff that I don't like, though. So, like, what would be the difference?
Supremacy would never get played again.
That's true. That's a good point.
Well,
if it would never get played again, then shouldn't it not be there?
The game type, yeah.
The thing is, a majority of players, majority of casual players, look at it this way, and this is actually one of my opinions about Supremacy and the way the game plays now that I don't like that Bungie did. So if they're gearing for a casual player likes to see that they're doing well, right? They like to see that they've gotten more kills, which is why there was the elimination change for Destiny 2 from Destiny 1. You get an assist, counts as elimination, which at the end screen shows as a kill. Makes everybody feel better about their gameplay, right? Right?
My KD's gone way up. Yeah.
Right? Because it's not KD anymore. It's KAD. It's kill and assist. But Supremacy works against that because the casual player has to go capitalize and get those crests, and the game type is 100% not geared for that, right? It's 100% not geared for that because if you're balling up and they're balling up, people are not getting caps. So at the end score screen, when both teams have only picked up 20 crests, everybody feels like crap about their gameplay because they haven't gotten enough. Nobody's like, yo, I got 25 crests that game. You know what I mean? Nobody is saying that. I haven't seen anybody get more than maybe 18, 20. I think I had a 20 game one time. Because it's just the way that people play now. And I'm sure there's people out there, they're like, yo, I got 46, you're a bitch. I'm like, cool.
Some guy listening to this podcast is already commenting, like, I fucking soloed 1v4 and got 100 points.
In the comment section on YouTube right now.
But you see what I'm saying, though? It doesn't cater towards who I feel like they're trying to cater the game towards. I think Supremacy either needs to be moved to the competitive side because it is slower paced, because it is more tactical. They need to change the competitive playlist to the tactical playlist and just get it over with, because that would make so much more sense. JNL and Chad said that, and I think that's perfect.
I agree. Yeah. Tactical. What would they change the name for Quickplay to? Jovial Encounters.
Well, even the description says kick back in a mix of modes and maps that emphasize having fun with friends. And it even says low intensity, 4v4 low intensity. And the other one is 4v4 high intensity, and says fight for glory and honor in a selection of modes and maps that require teamwork and coordination to win. It literally describes tactical play versus hodgepodge. I don't know what you would put over there. I don't know what you would put over there.
Slobberknocker. It's a bit long. I like it, though. It's a good word.
Smarter said casual, but you want to avoid those terms because then they mean they
people don't like to be called.
It's too honest.
No. Yeah,
it's too honest.
It's too honest.
Joe Sixpack doesn't want to be called casual.
Yeah.
Joe Sixpack has a six-pack. There's no way
he's too beautiful for that.
You could call it general play and then tactical play. Or something like that.
General and tactical. I mean, those are better than quick play and competitive because they're far more descriptive. And they should just remove the competitive multiplayer. It's like, I don't think so. Like, they have a very strict matchmaking policy where they want everyone to have good games, and they will handicap teams to make sure that happens.
I think they should just do it like...
It's not competitive.
They should just do it like Smash Online and call it for fun and for glory, but change it from glory to ELO. Because that's what it's all about, people.
Bro, ELO, dude.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Fallout, really? Basic bitch, really?
It's our road. Yeah, just go for broke. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Like call everybody out.
You can't use a term that's gonna have political correctness hit it. You can't use basic. You can't use casual. You can't use competitive. You can't use those terms if you're not really gonna use those. Free play wouldn't be bad. I think. But quick play, to me, because Overwatch used quick play, everybody expects a certain thing out of quick play now, and that's not what you're getting from this. So you can't use that term. I don't know.
Yeah.
That might be my one gripe with the game right now. But the other side of that is that I haven't really played much PvP, so it doesn't really matter yet. There just hasn't been a big reason outside of doing milestones and stuff like that in the quest to get in there and mess around. Like we did a little bit maybe the first or second day, but that was just to see. The other side of it is, granted, I haven't run in a super stacked team, but I have not mercied anybody yet on console. And in the PC beta, even if I was solo queuing, we could mercy people pretty easily, which felt really awesome. It felt like vindication almost to a point, but we'll see what things look like.
Folks didn't know how to play. You were saying no sliding. People weren't picking up heavy.
It was awesome, dude.
It was like shooting fish in a barrel. It seriously was. I'm super excited for the community to learn how to play on mouse and keyboard too, because I am more than willing to help people get to a point where they're comfortable with the way that the game plays. You know what I mean?
Look at all these great figureheads. Look at players like Poshy. Great Destiny player and the top 500 Overwatch player on PC, all in the space of a year.
Yeah, he's scary to play against.
If you were good on console, you're going to be good on PC. Basic, your game sense, your confidence, all of that will shine through. It's just getting used to a completely different control system, and that is it.
Yep.
I think the quality of gamer on PC is not better. It's not like just because you spend more money on a PC does not make you a better gamer, and a lot of people need to realize that. But
I think that's the huge advantage people like you and Lupo are going to have right out the gate on PC Story is that you're both familiar with the game and with the control scheme, like using it. So everyone else, if you're a PC gamer, you don't know the game. If you're a console gamer, you might not know mouse and keyboard that well. So,
but it didn't stop a lot of the PC guys that, these are knowledgeable people that, have a rational opinion, but it didn't stop them having very strong negative criticisms. Oh, this is too overpowered. This is unacceptable. This should be changed. And it's like, play the game, guys, for a minute. You're not sliding. You're not picking up heavy. You're not using your class abilities. You're not using supers. Worry about trying to balance the game later on and just learn to play.
Story saying, get good. That's what I'm
learn to play the game. It's different. Destiny's different. It's not Battlefield. It's not fucking
okay
Counter-Strike.
to be in a state where learning to play the game is okay. It's fine. I had to learn how to aim correctly on PC when the game, when the beta launched, because my sensitivity was totally wrong. Like I had to learn that, and it was exciting because I felt like a blank slate again. And so this time around, I could really dig in and get a feel for how the game was supposed to play, get a feel for how I'm supposed to play it, and there's no preconceived notion. There's no I played Destiny 1, I played on this sensitivity, so it should feel the same on Destiny 2. No, this is the first time anybody has ever played native mouse on PC. It was beautiful. I played 800 DPI, 4 sensitivity with a 1.0 ADS modifier, and everybody in chat was like, that's so slow. And I'm sitting here like, it's amazing!
Yeah! This is
so good.
Use the fucking arm. Use your arm, not your wrist. Get a big mouse pad.
Just to fluff Lupo's ego a little bit even more, about how amazing he is. And the great point he's making about having to learn how to play is, I've watched Lupo learn how to play these battle royale games, basically from being not good at all. Watching him, not necessarily bad, but just
at first.
Watching you for days. 100%. I'd come into stream for days, and it'd be like, "You get a win yet?" No. And now it's like I go into stream, and it's like, "Oh, Lupo just won using nothing but pistols. He just won punching guys to death the whole time. Like what the fuck? Like it's insane. It's that willingness to learn."
9-win tear the first game of season 3. 9 wins.
You're sick.
In one day. We were smashing. I've won with only using shotguns. I've won solo against squads now because it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, this is fun. I want to make it harder. I just want it to be more difficult. So it's just, things have gotten really crazy, and it's been a blast to over 4 months learn how to play that game, and from nothing, from having actually not seriously played a PC shooter since Battlefield Bad Company 2. It's been a long time because Destiny absorbed me. And so being able to get into something for really dedicate time was awesome. And I cannot wait to do it on PC and to have everybody join me in doing it, because it's going to be a great experience. It's going to be good if you want to do that. And if you want to stay on console, I encourage you to stay on console if that's all you want to do. That's fine.
And that's why Lupo's a damn inspiration to me, because I can watch him go from just mediocre nonsense to fucking amazing. It inspires me that I could be better. I could be better too.
Can get good. It just takes time. It takes practice. And aimbot. Don't forget that too. That's a big piece.
Aimbot. Absolutely.
Cheating aggressively.
You need it.
Ask Bones. He knows. I mean, how many times have I been called a cheater in the subreddit, dude? Like daily, right?
Too many times.
In fact, what's my tag in there now? Isn't it keyboard and aimbot or aimbot and mouse?
Oh yeah, you have Flare that says cheater on it immediately.
I got an idea. You could get one of those, a cheetah coloured. It's in the cat, like a leopard. A cheetah coloured T-shirt, and headphones and cap and just be a real cheetah.
A man cheetah.
Coin it.
Big
Yeah.
dumb
Such
trucker
a
hat.
cheetah, dude. Like you are
love
correct.
it.
I have donned my cheetah outfit today. I am very fast.
Yes, look at this.
I will hunt you like a gazelle. Come at me, bitch. No, another thing that I saw mentioned in chat, Mask came in, some sort of chat in-game for PC version. So they use a similar system to Overwatch, minus the ability to talk to other teams or random people around you. You can literally only talk via whispers or people that are in the same fire team as you, and that's it.
That's good. Because
So-
that one thing I was not looking forward to was the cancer box on the screen of people just
Toxicity
shit-talking
of
each
the
other.
hate, and yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say this, the one thing that Overwatch did that I wish other games would do is if you type GG easy into the chat, they actually automatically convert it to a pool of catchphrases of like, hey, you played a really
so
good
funny.
game. Good job. And like just overly inspirational. So when you see it pop up in chat, you know other people are typing GG easy and you laugh. But they took all of the fuel out of saying that to people by doing that. They took all the fuel out because now funny stuff pops up, and if you type it too many times, you start to make fun of yourself.
Yes.
It's like it reverses on you, and you look like an idiot. And I'm like, that's freaking great. Bungie, if you ever add, like proxy chat, proxy text chat, please take note of that. Do something similar because it would look so funny to see just like this outpouring of positivity when everybody's trying to type bullshit in there. Like instead of a profanity filter, it just turns into like a happiness filter, and so everybody just says happy things to you, and that's it.
Yeah, man. I think we could probably open up things for questions because
Probably a good idea.
should we do that? So chat, if you've got some questions that you would like to ask our fantastic guest or any of us, please fire away with that shenanigan.
Yes, please do, because we could get enchanted by Lupo all night. So let's.
I have a question.
Stop it.
How's Charlie?
He's fantastic. I've taught him how to say fart and boner, so those are my dad achievements.
Oh, you taught him boner?
I taught him boner, dude. He's hilarious. He's over 2 now. He is talking and walking and he has conversations. He's got opinions. He hates eating a majority of the food that we want to give him. He just wants to eat chicken nuggets and fucking grilled cheese, and he's every 2-year-old. And my wife just said in chat, it's the cutest boner too. He actually says the word boner in a way that makes boners adorable. I don't know how.
Wow.
I don't know how.
Okay. Well, I suppose an adorable boner is. I'm just thinking about
Magwitch has heard that
wrapping
a
it
number of times.
in a ribbon, maybe.
Adorable boner
getting a little
might
beret.
Adorable boner might be one of the most deflating compliments I can imagine getting in my life.
Did you hear that?
That's adorable.
You're done.
That looks like a turtle. We need to feed that some lettuce.
In chat, Tyrant Dominus, what were your thoughts and feelings on the initial start of the game, the memories? Oh, Bones touched on it.
He did.
Cried
touch on
like a
that.
baby.
I had a different feeling. I was like really sad because I played on PlayStation. I don't play on Xbox anymore. So all the memories were like fake bullshit memories. So I was like,
I was actually going to say
that's the
same
time
thing,
when I grinded the campaign that I didn't want to grind, and there's the time where I went flawless for the first time, even though I did it on Xbox before. And all these memories are fake bullshit. But
Was it when you were like 263 light on PlayStation and we got you
was,
flawless
yeah,
on that
it was.
account?
Yeah.
Mine,
I can't believe that happened.
I was gonna say I had the same feeling actually because I started on PlayStation for Destiny 2 because that's where a lot of that's where Rogue was gonna be and all that, and so a lot of my memories looked really forged because I actually went flawless, completed multiple raids and all sorts of stuff before my Black Garden date, and so I was like, this doesn't line up. Everything was in like the span of a week, like February 2nd to like the 7th. Was the week that I got my PS4 and started playing Destiny on PlayStation. And so everything was like compressed in this really weird, skewed timeline. Like I went flawless before I completed some of these raids and like before I finished the story technically. And so it's like, none of this makes any sense. One of my raids was like just me. Like, oh yeah, I soloed Crota for fun for my first time, and I did it on PlayStation. And so when that came up, it was like this in the same time frame, and it was just DrLupo, and I'm like,
Okay.
what is this? I'm sure my Xbox One looks much more. It would probably evoke more
Authentic.
feels. than the PlayStation 1, but it was a super cool idea. One of the coolest things I think I've seen in a game ever, as far as just like setting the standard for you getting emotionally invested. They were like, remember when you did all this cool shit with your friends? Do it again. Here's the next game. I'm like, okay. I'm ready. I'll do it. I guess I'm ready. Let's try it.
Most of my memory, since I joined late, most of my memories were all the other Husky Raid guys literally just powering me through raids. I'm like, okay, I remember playing Vault of Glass and having no idea what I was doing. They're like, go stand over there. I'm like, okay, what the fuck is happening the whole time? No one explained it. But my only real good memory was my first flawless with Mr. Fallout plays.
Oh,
right there. That was
what
precious.
A charmer. that was fun though. That was fun.
It was.
Just to clarify, if you're playing on 2 different systems and you fire it up, sound like you're an original Xbox player, and you fire it up on PlayStation for the first time, do you only get those memories on PlayStation, and when you boot up your Xbox account, it doesn't happen?
So they have no cross-platform whatsoever. They look like they should be housed in the same silo. The database is probably running off similar, like the same hardware. I would almost guarantee if you go to Bungie's data center, those server racks for storage for all of your character data are probably sitting right next to each other. But there's just no cables running between them. The infrastructure is all side by side, and they're all clones of each other, but they're not connected in any way. So. Sadly, no. You only get your Xbox memories on Xbox. You only get your PlayStation memories on PlayStation. And when we play on PC, you will have no memories. You won't get
nothing.
They won't experience that at all. Honestly, is kind of too bad. At some point, it would be cool to see them bring like this archaic version of the Destiny 1 story into Destiny 2 on PC so people can experience it. But I don't think that'll ever happen.
What story? Am I right, guys? Destiny 1 story.
Just go check out some memes real quick. Destiny 1. Bones, hit us with some Destiny 1 memes, man. That's what I come to you for.
Dude, I'm retired from Destiny 1 memes. Get them away from me.
And there's no Destiny 2 memes yet, so
I don't even want to think about Destiny 1 memes. Now that you mentioned it, I'm just like, no time to explain.
Gross. Oh,
so what level
Here's
do
a good
you
question.
guys? Okay, go Bones. Good.
Shut up about the power level. Smotter24 asks, favorite weapon so far? And I actually like this question because these are all new names that all of us are just learning this week, and it's been so exciting to just be like, oh yeah, that one's cool, I like that one, and to not have some of the ones that people mentioned. So my favorite weapon so far might be Skyburner's Annex, the like scout rifle slug thing that you get from Cabal.
I'm gonna do this.
It's an exotic.
I'm gonna do this to you. It's Skyburner's Oath. By the way,
Skyburner's Oath. You're right.
Yeah.
Actually,
reused words.
Actually, as a professional Destiny player, no, it's Skyburner's Oath because a couple people in my chat were calling it Skyburner's Annex, and I was like, it's not.
And you banned them. You banned them for calling it that.
Yeah, that's a hellmouth.
Get out.
It's cool. It's like a weird feeling. Technically, scout rifle, and Cold Heart gets all this attention for being a completely unique weapon, and it sure is very interesting and unique. But I just think this thing, it feels cool. It's like the new Queen Breakers in a sense, and I think it's awesome.
If you have it, bring it to the first raid, because it's god tier in the Nightfall. Okay, so this thing in the Nightfall, because it's rotating elements, when it's solar, because Skyburner's Oath is solar, when you hit red targets in the head for 1,000, dude, 1,000. Because it does bonus damage to Cabal, and you have the boost from solar. You annihilate. I mean, we killed in the base Nightfall, not the Prestige. We killed the boss before he went up and put up a shield, because of this plus a tether and the damage boost from a Warlock. You just sit in it and you're railing him in the face, and you have somebody else using the super, and he just exploded. He was like nothing. So I'm excited to use this thing in the raid on Wednesday, and I'm fingers crossed that not many other teams have too many of them, because they seem like they're going to be super OP. Between that and the fun Night Stalker trick, if you have Orpheus rig, you're going to see a lot of people tearing it up, dude. It's going to be fun. But
which one's Orpheus rig?
That's the boots.
The legs?
Okay.
The boots, Okay. It gives uncanny arrows, provides ability energy for each enemy tethered by shadow shot anchors. And let's just say infinite super is possible. So it's fun. It's a fun little thing. I'm sure you'll see.
I have those, and I didn't use them because I didn't even realize it counted super energy. I just kind of assumed it was terrible.
Oh yeah. you can easily solo a number of heroic public events if you have that thing in a full super. Just because if you position them right, you smoke things. But so you mentioned Skyburner's Oath. I'm actually going to talk about a power weapon as well. It's so weird to say this because I hated using them in Destiny 1, but Last Hope is an Amalon Burstfire sidearm that literally annihilates in PvP. You melt people.
Yes.
The 3 burst sidearms are incredibly
Those
powerful.
are really powerful, yeah.
And this one, actually, so it has max stability, and it also has Zen moment. So it becomes a laser beam, and you can nuke people with it. You just rattle off headshots, and they die in like 2.5 bursts. I haven't seen any other gun be able to kill as fast as these things. I wonder if it has the fastest time to kill on a full health target. It might. They're crazy good. They're really, really good.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
I'll have that.
I'll add that I also enjoy, just for funniness, the full auto sidearm. The Dead Man Walking.
Dead Man
they're
Walking,
stupid. It's not as
I've got one of those
good.
too,
It's just fun. But I really like the. We were talking about it a little bit before we went live. I really like the Uriel's Gift auto rifle. I think,
So good.
Yes. I really enjoy that gun. It's like a laser beam
good.
at a distance. Like it's like a scout rifle, auto rifle. It's a ton of fun. I don't know.
It's got a very chunky, visceral feeling. Like we know that Omalon, the liquid sound, the doom doom kind of thing, but that one at that rate of fire, you're just like it just feels good. It's a powerful gun. I like it.
I'm
Yes.
trying to see if I have one of those now. Damn, I don't think I do.
The Uriel's Gift and the number from Future War Cult, which I got from a Cade chest, which is I think how people are getting some of the faction gear
I think so.
before they unveil whatever those are. But it's good to know that there's actually a couple guns in the same archetype, same manufacturer or foundry or whatever as Uriel's, but Uriel's is good. It is very good.
I want to throw one last one out there, not for really using that much, but the Graviton Lance, just for the way it sounds when it fires its last bullet.
It's very chunky.
It's so good.
I want to play now. Can we stop talking?
I know, right?
Yes.
We're done.
This is the last
We're
question.
done. I just want to play.
This is the last one. Story
Yeah.
and Fallout answer, and then we can wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay. Guns. Wow. There's so many of them that I've had some fun with. The exotics are great. I even like the Sturm hand cannon, but I think legendaries are where it's at for me. I'm just experimenting with stuff at the moment, big time. The Rat King is fun. That's a fun gun.
Have you had an opportunity to use Rat King with other players in PvP yet?
I haven't done PvP.
Not
I
yet.
want to do
I
that
haven't
so
done
I didn't
badly.
want to talk about it because Trials is going to be saturated with that, isn't it? Really.
You'll see teams of 4 running. Okay, so let me put
That's
it
going
this
to be
way.
really funny.
The base rate of fire is okay. When you have 2 people side by side, the eyes on the back of the gun light up and they start to smolder a little bit, and the rate of fire goes up, and then it's like, wow, this is a pretty fast firing sidearm. And then when you get 3 standing near each other, the front rats start lighting up, it glows more, and it turns into a freaking auto rifle with sidearm damage and stability. And that's only 3. That's half the buff. You'll probably be able to clear. Yeah, like this thing. If you have 6 people in the raid, it might be insane.
That's what we were talking about.
There's so many setups that have me so excited.
I want to
Sweet
see
business with the chest piece from Titans that automatically refills auto rifle magazines. You don't reload. You just shoot the whole time. You never reload.
I want to see so badly with the Rat King, though. I want to see 4 people in the Stormcaller's Rift when it's making that little orb familiar that shoots with you, and I want to get them all
Arc
shooting with the
Soul,
Arc
Arc
Souls
Soul.
all at once, just
Souls.
non-stop damage everywhere. Oh my god.
Dude, Dado, if
Soul
you're out there,
buddies.
if you listen to this, I need DPS stats fucking ASAP, dude.
Stat. I need a stat.
Sorry.
Okay
go ahead.
then, guys.
We good?
I think it's time for.
I think
to
it's
sing a
Fantastic
song.
episode.
Fantastic. All right, do the thing. All right, everybody. If you're here with us on Twitch for the live show, A, thank you. And B, don't fucking go anywhere, because now's the time to give us suggestions in the chat. I was pretty aggressive on who you think we should raid.
I like it.
Which is something you at home can join us for the next time on the show if you decide to tune in live. Remember, the PD podcast is every Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. And we would like to very much thank our special guest, DrLupo, for joining us on the show tonight. Lupo, why don't you please tell the people at home where they can find you?
So if you are on Twitch, where we are right now, currently live, twitch.tv/DrLupo. I know it's hard to believe. This is live on the internet. That's where I stream. I stream actually about 65 hours-ish a week right now, which is pretty crazy. But I figured if I'm playing video games, I might as well hang out with cool people too at the same time. If you want to see a lot of Twitter shit posting, including actually me posting from the toilet, midstream, in fact, pretty much every single day, I make that kind of a routine. Twitter.com/DrLupo on Twitch. And if you want to watch some really archaic videos that I barely even upload to, you can pull up YouTube, and the channel is DrLupo TV. So there you go.
Nice.
Good stuff. And for us here at the PD Podcast, I'm Fallout Plays. You can find me over at youtube.com/Fallout Plays and twitch.tv/Fallout Plays. You can find Story at youtube.com/StoryMachine with a 4 instead of an A, and at twitch.tv/StoryMachine with a 4 instead of an A. You can find Bones over at crucibleradio.com and on the Crucible Radio Podcast, the podcast for all things Destiny PvP. You can find Mega at youtube.com/HuskyRaid and twitch.tv/Mega Magwitch. And you can find TBL in Florida, hopefully not being
up a tree,
upset by a hurricane.
Hopefully he's good.
Underneath a house with 2 little ruby slippers flapping.
No, he's in that hurricane right now with a generator hooked up to a little TV playing Destiny, all right? I know that. There's no way.
Love you, TBL. Hope to talk to you soon. Anyway, at home, thanks for joining us. See you next week. Take care.